Yo, what is going on, everyone in the XRP community? Hope you guys are having yourselves a fantastic day today as usual during this cryptocurrency Black Swan event. But hey, it's not all doom and gloom because we just got a report from the Digital Pound Foundation about the Central Bank of Korea testing an Ethereum-based CBDC blockchain and calling it literally insufficient. XRP is the key to Korea, one of the most high-paced competitive societies in the world that is based strictly on speed, and Ethereum is not satisfying them. All right, guys, well, just to give a quick overview of the whole entire market, not looking good. I do not think we are done going down. And keep in mind, I'm not talking about just XRP. I'm not saying XRP is going to keep going down because XRP throughout history has been quite an inverse to the market. We've seen many times when the whole market goes down, XRP goes up, and vice versa. So don't get your hopes, too down. If you are a Solana holder, however, I would be a little bit concerned. I'm currently actually shorting Solana right now, Bitrue Sol 3S USDT, because that thing has been as high as $30 before, currently at 30 cents. So the reason why rumors are floating around that Solana is going to be crashing very, very hard, similar to Terra Luna, is because FTX has a big stake in the Solana currency. They're a very early investor in this token. And what I am hearing is that they have a lot of Solana currently locked up. I don't know whether it's like exchange contracts or like staking it in the blockchain. Not exactly sure how Solana works. I don't really care about the token, to be honest. But basically, FTX has a huge amount of Solana locked somewhere, and it's going to be unlocked soon. And people are thinking they are going to dump Solana to get try to recoup some sort of liquidity so they can, I don't know, take it for themselves or try to pay all the users who are storing cryptocurrency on the platform. By the way, guys, I would be very, very careful trading FTT right now. I did short FTT yesterday. Turned my $60 into like $250, and now I'm just shorting Solana again. But I honestly would not suggest trading FTT right now. I'm even seeing top traders on Twitter, such as Trader SZ, Trader XO, very, very like famous crypto traders, by the way. And they are just saying, hey, we're not trading this. You can't really find an edge anywhere. Like, this is just, it's too volatile right now where it's quite literally gambling. Another thing I would like to really hit home on is don't be longing FTX because of the quote Binance buying FTX exchange. Binance has not said they are actually going to purchase the FTX exchange. They are just going to be starting due diligence on the exchange in a few days that they could withdraw from any time. And I feel like they're trying to get some sort of exit liquidity to finish off the remaining portion of their FTT bag. So just be very careful out there, guys. Honestly, the name of the game right now is you're either going to buy or you're going to hold. I wouldn't do anything else except buy and hold. Maybe short some things around there. But again, trading in this type of market, you're literally gambling because if you're shorting it, bro, the market could go surge up 20% in like 3 hours. It's crazy. It's really crazy. All right, let's go ahead and get into it, guys. Headline Hunter Global breaking. Central Bank of Korea Central Bank Digital Currency Simulations report deems overall performance of Ethereum-based blockchain insufficient. And this is even with proof-of-stake Ethereum. Okay? Source. This is coming from the Digital Pound Foundation, who you guys know is working with XRP and Ripple. Or maybe not Ripple, but I do know XRP at least. No, I'm pretty sure Digital Pound Foundation is working with Ripple. I'm quite sure that is the case here. One thing I would like to say first off is let's get a little refresher over on Korea, because both Korea, Japan, very, very important in the speculation of XRP's longevity in the future of this world. Because as you know, speaking from an American Western standpoint, you could consider both Korea and Japan much more advanced than the United States. Although, both Korea and Japan, Japan being the third largest economy in the world, Korea being like the 8th or 9th, although they don't have as big of an economy as the United States, you could argue that their overall country's infrastructure is much more advanced than the United States. And it seems that throughout history, or really throughout recent history, the last decade or so, Asia is always the first to pioneer new technologies. I learned through my investigation of diving deep in Ripple and XRP stuff, I happened to stumble across that, yeah, the QR code literally was first being used over in Asia. I'm not saying any specific country, but I'm just saying typically we're seeing, new technologies being pioneered in Asia first. My one friend who is from Guangzhou, China, who I've not spoken to quite some time now, he actually owns a restaurant now. He's running a restaurant at a very populated intersection in the city I live in. Haven't talked to him in a while, but I remember when I was hanging out with him one time, he was telling me, hey man, if you go, do some tourism over in China, bro, they don't use cash anymore. He just told me straight up, bro, we do not use cash anymore. It's non-existent. There's no point in using it. Everyone is all QR code, on WeChat and or Alipay and things like that. Another thing I want to drive home. I have spent a total of about, half a year in Korea just through tourism and stuff. And one of the biggest culture shocks I experienced was that everything is fast. Everything is fast. Let me repeat that. Everything is faster than the United States. Bro, you walk into a traditional Korean restaurant, from the time you vocally order your food to the waiter, and the time food gets on your table is minutes. Not, 6 minutes, 7 minutes, 8 minutes. No, I'm talking 2-3 minutes the food's at your table. Everything in Korea is incredibly quick. They even have their own little slang saying bali bali. Means everything. Just bali bali, quick, everything quick. That's how Korea really operates as a society. It's very fast-paced, very competitive. They want things quick. And that's why back in 2017, Shinhan Bank and Woori Bank, and in English we spell it, Woori, Woori Bank, but in Korea it's actually Uri Bank, Uri Bank, Uri Unheng, which means we, it's basically a literal translation of we bank or our bank, that kind of thing. So Shinhan and Uri Bank, they both pioneered Ripple XRP in 2017, and when they piloted it, they said it was actually very, very successful. That was actually one of the first videos on my channel to ever reach over 10,000 views. Was Korea testing out XRP, and ended up being a success, and that was damn near 6 years ago. So let's go ahead and dive into this article, guys. Bank of Korea finds performance issues with central bank digital currency blockchain tech. And another thing, we do know central banks, they are experimenting with Ethereum a lot. The Central Bank of Australia, I don't know what the official name is, because, every country has a central bank, but they all have, their own names. We got Federal Reserve. Sometimes it's just Bank of that country. Sometimes it's, the Reserve Bank of that country or Royal Bank of that country, but basically central bank, right? In Australia, Dilip Rao, former Ripple executive, is leading the CBDC piloting project over in Australia, which was announced just a month or two ago, and they are actually going to be testing Ethereum. However, the person leading that project is a former Ripple executive who is very, very pro XRP, and I'm thinking the way he's leading the project is to, hey, you know what, test out, one of the biggest blockchains in the world, see how it really works with your bank, see how good and efficient it actually is. So my theory going with that is you have a Ripple executive leading a central bank pilot with the Bank of Australia, and immediately off the bat going, you know what, yeah, don't test XRP. Test Ethereum first. Because Ethereum's all the big thing that JP Morgan wants to invest into, and Ethereum's all the talk right now and stuff like that. It's been the talk for a while, right? The number one largest altcoin for the last 3-4 years. And I think it's actually quite intelligent of former Ripple executive Dilip Rao to go, you know what, yeah, let's hold off on testing XRP. Go ahead, try Ethereum. See how well that works for you. And it seems the Bank of Korea has done the same thing. And by the way, one time I was actually in the Gangnam station. Gangnam is in the capital city of Korea, Seoul. And Gangnam is hands down the richest place in Korea. Lambos, Ferraris, Porsches all day long. And I was actually in that subway station. And one of you guys did actually recognize me there. You didn't talk to me in person though, but you messaged me on Twitter a day after saying, "Hey man, were you in Gangnam Station?" I'm like, "Yeah, dude. Was I wearing a purple shirt?" And he's like, "Yeah." So I actually got recognized over there. Anyways, the Bank of Korea completed the second phase of its retail central bank digital currency simulations in late June, and today shared the results. While it was happy with some aspects of its digital yuan simulations, such as using CBDC for offline payments and cross-border remittances, the central bank highlighted performance issues with the blockchain technology. Specifically, it found the overall performance of the Ethereum-based blockchain insufficient, including the scaling solutions and privacy that was tested. And guys, this is November 7th. Okay, this isn't some, 2018, 2019. No, this is 2 days ago. Okay? Quote, "There will be some limitations in real-time processing of transactions during peak times," said the Bank of Korea. This is where, 3.0 cryptocurrencies like XRP, which have 1,500 transactions per second versus Ethereum and Bitcoin's, roughly 20, 30 per second. That's the biggest problem with Bitcoin and Ethereum. Bitcoin and Ethereum, honestly, they work pretty fine. If you want to send money between exchanges, Bitcoin might take you 10, 15 minutes. Ethereum might take you 5, 10 minutes. But the Achilles heel is peak times. That is where proof of work and proof of stake have issues. It's the peak times. It's like normally, on average, runs great, not that expensive. But it's peak times where shit hits the fan and the code has no idea what to do, and it just starts backlogging everything. It's one of the biggest points to drive home with Bitcoin is, if you just wake up at, 9 in the morning and you just want to move some Bitcoin from Coinbase to Binance, it'll work fine. But wait until there's a crazy bull run and there's liquidity booming everywhere and record exchange usage. Yeah, and all of a sudden a Bitcoin transaction can take 3 days. That's where XRP is much, much different, much superior. So one of its tests simulated peak demand by sustaining 4,200 transactions per second for 30 minutes. At that activity level, users sometimes had to wait up to a minute for a response, latency. However, the system can handle an average TPS of 1,000, which is typical of many Korean micropayment systems, but not peak periods such as lunch times or payment deadlines. The scalability limitations of Ethereum are widely known. And in response, numerous Layer 2 scaling solutions have been deployed in the crypto sector, particularly rollups. The Bank of Korea tried using rollups with up to 700 transactions on each subnetwork. The rollups performed fine when both sides of the transaction took place on the same subnetwork. However, there were very significant performance issues when a large proportion of transactions were between subnetworks. Another performance challenge related to using zero-knowledge proofs. This technology can prove that someone owns the CBDC without exposing the details of their identity data. The central bank found using zero-knowledge proofs required up to 14 seconds per transaction. Zero-knowledge proofs is also widely known to have performance challenges, although some alternative approaches partly mitigate this. We're not clear which ones were used. The bank also tested transfers between ledgers using different blockchain technologies for the purchase of non-fungible tokens and cross-border CBDC remittance. It used hash-time lock contracts and was satisfied with these. The cross-border CBDC was simulated with the United States and used commercial banks as intermediaries. CBDC technology partners. As previously reported, the central bank selected Ground X as its primary technology partner for the simulations. GroundX is a Web3 subsidiary of Korea's largest social network, Kakao, which I actually have Kakao Chat on my phone. Kakao Pay, Kakao Chat. It's like, you could think of Kakao in Korea as kind of like it's like China's, WeChat kind of thing. China, WeChat, Korea, Kakao. It's like the same thing. Same, reason it exists. They use it for the same reason. And the founder of the Clayton Public Semi-Permission blockchain, Clayton is based on Ethereum technology, and for its pitch, it partnered with Ethereum development house Consensus, Joseph Lubin, which is still involved in the project. Other companies involved in the project include Samsung Electronics, KPMG, Kakao Bank, Kakao Pay, Escor, digital transformation consultants, Kona I prepaid cards, Dream Security authentication, Z Crypto zero knowledge proofs, On Ether, I guess that's what they're trying to, make the little jingle for the name, layer 2 scaling, and NGLE software testing. So yeah, quite a big test they did here involving about 6-7 major giants from the country, right? Now that the second phase of simulations is complete, the central bank has started working with 14 commercial banks and the Korea Financial Telecommunications and Clearing Institute. The banks are Kookmin, Shinhan, and Uri Bank. Those are pretty much the two biggest household names in Korea. Hana, Nonghyup. Nonghyup, I notice you see this bank more in the countryside of Korea than you really do in, let's say the touristy areas. Enterprise, Suhyup, Busan, Gyeongnam, Daegu, Gwangju, Cheonbuk, Kakao, and K. Next steps for central bank digital currency. The Bank of Korea outlined its next phase of work, which centers around the banks. For example, the ability to integrate the simulation system with the bank's internal systems, and to check the performance when onboarding large numbers of users. It is creating a virtual private network to communicate securely with these intermediary banks. Apart from the pure technical aspects, it also plans to explore potential use cases and is considering involving other types of companies in the simulation, such as credit card firms and securities companies. But first off, just to say right off the bat, these companies you're seeing that they did the simulations with, these are like the bread and butter of the Korean economy right here. They are already doing it with some leading enterprises. All right, but they want to expand the simulations into credit card firms and securities companies. The central bank also hinted at possible additional cross-border experiments. We plan to cooperate with financial institutions and international organizations, it said. Meanwhile, various central banks around the world are progressing with their trials. Both the Monetary Authority of Singapore, Ripple partner, and the European Central Bank are separately starting to explore programmable money applications of retail CBDC. There are an increasing number of cross-border CBDC projects. Mbridge out of Hong Kong recently shared its latest results and announced plans to go into production. Mbridge includes the central banks of Hong Kong, China, United Arab Emirates, and Thailand. And United Arab Emirates and Thailand, Ripple is also very deep with some of the largest banks over there. And the Saudi Arabian Monetary Authority, also Ripple partner. A new project, Mariana, including the central banks of France, Switzerland, and Singapore, will explore using DeFi for foreign exchange for cross-border CBDC. The New York Fed launched Project Cedar for faster FX settlement, and Monetary Authority of Singapore announced Project Ubin, which that really rings a bell in my head. I'm pretty sure that is very Ripple XRP integrated for cross-border payments. All of these are wholesale CBDC projects. Two of these, Mbridge and Cedar, have created bespoke blockchains in part to address performance challenges. Additionally, there's Project Icebreaker involving the central banks of Norway, Sweden, and Israel to explore retail CBDC cross-border payments. So, guys, what we're seeing here is you got all the biggest banks all around the world really trying to wrap their head around what blockchain is the best. Because I don't want you guys to see, banks testing Ethereum and think that, oh my God, XRP screwed, they're testing Ethereum. Well, that's all they're doing. They're just testing it. They're dipping their toe in the water, and they're just trying to, gauge the temperature and see, is this useful? Does this have limitations? Where can we run into issues? Is there any reasons why we wouldn't want to use this? And considering Korea got very big into testing XRP in 2017, they're just rolling along with tests. Because again, when you're literally the central bank of an entire economy, you don't just want to, jump the gun really quick and just roll out with the first blockchain you think that sounds good. They really got to run rigorous tests and find out, what do we want to move forward with? And clearly, if you have done the research, it is clearly Ripple XRP, because it was designed by early Bitcoin developers who could see the future and see that Bitcoin would eventually have scaling limitations when it comes to global use cases, right? And they created XRP for banks to be using them. XRP currently running 24/7. Transaction fees are negligible. You can't even call it a transaction fee. It's fractions of a fraction of a penny. It's so cheap. Runs at 3-4 second transaction speeds. 1,500 transactions per second, but can scale much, much higher than that. So guys, yeah, it's just, don't look at banks testing Ethereum and think that that's like something bad. Like, you know, you had the Ripple executive Dilip Rao leading a Australia CBDC project, and they're testing Ethereum, and it looks bad at first, but it's like, hey, all they're doing is testing it. They never committed to anything. They're just kind of trying to play around and see what works for them. I mean, when you go to test drive a car, it doesn't mean you're buying it. Just testing it out. You got to see if you like it. See, can I really rely on this for the long term? Would this be a good car for me? Is this a good blockchain that's going to represent us as a bank and is not going to piss off customers in the long term by running into scalability and performance issues? And I guarantee you, in the next 10 years, XRP will be all throughout South Korean banking infrastructure, because from my experience in that country, dude, if you do not do something fast, people start to get irritated. Like, when I was going to the Korean convenience stores in Korea, you know, buying some soju, buying some snacks and drinks and stuff like that, dude, by the time the cashier could ring up all the items and tell me how much I owe them, I don't even have the cash out of my wallet yet. I don't even have the card out of my wallet yet. It's crazy. It's really crazy. The subway systems, the public transportation, the taxis, the food, everything is fast. That whole country, their whole entire core principles are do things quick. Because in Korea, in Asia, really, I mean, people don't have that much time, man. I know in China there's something called the 996. You work from 9 a.m. to 9 p.m. 6 days a week. People in these countries, dude, the time is very valuable over there. They want things quick. And that's where XRP can perfectly snuggle up right next to those basic country principles, because it's from the get-go, it's meant to be fast. Fast and cheap, man. That is what Korea loves. Fast, cheap. Everything in that country. Fast, cheap, fast, cheap, fast, cheap. I don't care what it is. Public transportation, subway, food, going to karaoke, going to a bar. Everything is freaking fast. All right, guys. Well, that's going to go ahead and be the video of today. Bank of Korea CBDC Simulations Report deems overall performance of Ethereum-based blockchain insufficient. And this comes 6 years after testing out XRP. Kind of funny how that works, huh? All right, guys. Thank you for tuning in the video today. Really do appreciate it. Make sure you smash like, subscribe down below. I'll see you guys in the next one.